Cunningham, everybody.
You can't unsee the things I've seen. That sounds really fucking intense, right? Like, it was the catchphrase of a guy named Gary, who was in my veteran support group when I got home from Iraq. And I don't want to diminish what Gary went through, and I never would in a million years, but it's like he said it just to like seem much more intense than the rest of us. You know what I mean? Like I understand pain is relative. I get it, Gary. But it became almost like get her done. Like it was just one of those. And he would like look you square in the soul and just be like, you can't unsee the things I've seen. And but I thought about it because we would talk about our experiences. I was in Iraq in 2003, and yeah, it's intense. I know heavy subject matter, I'm sorry. But I would hear the stories from guys like Gary, and you know, Gary served in Vietnam. And guys, the few remaining people that we had that were in World War II and stuff like that. And like, I'm broken as fuck, okay? So I can't even imagine how some of these people like go on just like as functional human beings. I imagine it takes a lot of medication, like lots and lots of medication, okay? And so the worst is these guys would go around, and one day we're talking about it, and they get together, and everyone's telling their stories, and we get the, were you wounded in combat? And I hear stories from old men. One guy stormed friggin' Normandy Beach. We had just stories I will never unhear from guys like Gary. And then they got to me. I served in 2003 in Operation Iraqi Freedom when the war first started. I know, you look at this dumpster fire of a fucking athletic building going on, you immediately think, seasoned athlete, I know. But I went to Iraq in 2003 with the 1st Armored Division, initial wave, I was in there. And I was technically wounded in combat. But after hearing their stories, I was faced with a predicament. Because there's a real issue with something called stolen valor. You're all smart people, you know what stolen valor is. It's the guy who's like a security guard at Dillard's that wants to tell you about his time in the Green Beret. It's like, dude, you're 29, shut the fuck up, all right? So I'm gonna tell you guys what actually happened to me. And I want you to help me unravel this, all right? So as you can tell, I am a lifelong nerd, a big time, not like in the fashionable way, like before it was fashionable, I'm like a nerd hipster, okay? And in 2003, there were 2 very notable things that happened in my life. I went to Iraq, and Ang Lee of Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon fame directed a movie called Hulk. Does anyone remember this movie? Do you remember it fondly? Bingo. The USO is a wonderful organization. And they decided that they were going to give us a real treat. And they were going to show us the Hulk movie. I'm like, oh my God, I've waited a moment like this. Some people wait a lifetime. I'm so fucking excited. I go out there with a bunch of my friends. I am ready. Like, we're sitting in like a makeshift little thing that got a screen going.
Oh, poor baby.
Yeah. Like, as someone who like sat on a school bus reading Wizard magazine, imagining and action. As someone who grew up with the Lou Ferrigno Hulk, boy, I was ready for this movie. Boy. No, I was not. I'm sitting there, I get about 10 minutes in, and I am faced with the hardest dilemma of my adult life at that point. Do I risk irreparable mental and emotional damage by continuing to watch this movie? Or do I rage quit the movie and walk back through a combat zone by myself as a fuck you to this movie? I chose the latter. My friends were like just in it, so I get back and I start walking back the whole time, muttering to myself like, Stan Lee, I can't believe he fucking approved this. R.I.P. Stan Lee. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but I just took the path I had taken earlier. Some genius had put some concertina wire across the path that I had taken earlier that evening when the sun was still up. It caught me on my inner thigh. I'm stuck. Everywhere I move, it's just bleeding and gets deeper and deeper embedded. So I have to call for help. But you have to maintain noise light discipline. So I have to whisper yell. And what happens when I whisper yell, I just basically become Bobby Hill. I'm like, hell. My first sergeant comes, he claps at me, he's like, God damn it, Sergeant Cunningham, what the hell did you do? I'm like, the whole movie was bad, please cut me out of here. They cut me out. They took me over to the medics because it was like in there. I required minor surgery. They got it out of there. And that's how I was wounded in a combat zone. You really hear about guys who fearlessly charged into incoming fire from Nazis. You want to tell them the truth. You cannot lie to that person. But you can't tell them that story. So I tell them the truth. I just jazz it up a little bit, right? Because you know what it is about jazz. It's about the notes you don't play, right? It was horrible. They called us out there, and there was the scientist. He was a disaster. He was experimenting with gamma radiation. Something along the way just went very wrong, and it just turned him into like a monster, you know? And soon enough, he was like fighting dogs, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, so I just ran. I ran so far away, and something got me, and I went down, and I was like, oh shit. Oh fuck. Lord above, sweet God in heaven, at least I'm away from it. I've seen some things, and some things I can never unsee. And that's when Gary goes, oh, I don't know, man, I feel like Ang Lee's vision was pretty inspiring. You have to respect his artistic direction and the way he chose to go off the beaten path. And I go, fuck you, Gary. And that's me. Thank you all so much.